Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cacophony Productions. I'm Brian, aka Cacophony. So today I'm going to be doing my first video that's going to be outside of games, music, etc. So I'm going to be touching on the toys. As you can see behind me, it's a little bit messy, but I'm an avid toy collector. One of my biggest loves for the toys is Playmates run of Star Trek from 92 to 99. So I kind of want to just go over those, try my hand at it. I know there's 50 other people out there that has videos probably similar to these, but they're not me, so maybe it might be a little bit different. But if you guys do enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like or subscribe down below, and we'll get started on it.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Playmates toys. Their mission, to explore strange new markets, to seek out fans and collectors across every quadrant, to boldly produce what no toy company had produced before.
In the year of 1992, after their success that Playmates had with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, they gained the IP of Star Trek. It was a little bit after Next Generation aired, so about 5 years, and a little bit before it rolled over into Deep Space Nine. But we finally got someone worthy of producing really good toys for us at the time. So you'd walk into Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, KB Toys, and you would have a Star Trek section. And within that first year, basically we got Next Generation. So everyone on the crew was represented, with along with villains of Romulans, Goron, Ferengis, and Borgs, including role-playing toys with the phasers, tricorders, and communicator badges, along with spaceships. So we had Enterprise D with lights and sound. We had a Klingon ship. We had Romulan ships. We started getting Borg ships. We even got the shuttlecraft Galileo, or Gordy, whatever you want to call it. But in the sense of that, really I'm going to kind of go into the sense of how I got started with it at first, and then we're going to go back into facts and history with it. So really I kind of grew up in a Star Wars loving kind of home thing. That's all I knew as a kid.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I have a cousin who's a little bit older than me who kind of just like sensei'd me in toy collecting and my nerdiness growing up. But really it was more Star Trek, or Star Wars was the thing. Star Trek was around, but it wasn't prominent in my life. I think my cousin may have a few figures and accessories which he donated to the collection that I have behind me. But the TV show, the movies, they were always kind of like on in the background, especially I think it was watching the reruns on, like, I don't know, like Nick at Night or something like that. We'd watch those. But
Establish warp speed. And turn that blinker off. We've been turning left since right is fine.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Hey, look out for that asteroid! Jameson, are you blind.
Well, legally, sir, I am. However, in this galaxy, I am allowed to drive to work and back.
But I really didn't get into it until about the pandemic of like 2020. I think it was like around Christmas of 2020, honestly, when I got into it. And I sat down and just watched The Next Generation. I had attempted it a few times with the first episode. You meet Picard and Q and everyone. And after a few attempts, it finally kind of just stuck with me. So once I kind of finished up with all 7 seasons, I kind of got an itch in my hobby of toy collecting and started wanting to seek out the old vintage toys that Playmates came out with.
Make it so. Sir? Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it!
So I was living in Tennessee at the time and went to a kind of just retro toy convention there. And I came across a vendor who had literally like milk carton boxes full of the figures for like $2-3. And my pocket was burning a hole in itself. So I came out with probably about 15 figures of who I just knew of, like main characters from The Next Generation, which was like Picard and number 1, Data, Geordi, Wesley, whoever I could grab at the time. And at that point, it really became more of an addiction of like going on eBay or going around to other like vintage toy stores or antique stores and just finding each of these individually. Now, when I first started on these were like dimes and quarters, really what I was spending on them. But it really wasn't until I started finishing up like Deep Space Nine and like Voyager, because it was basically like if I liked it, I would collect it, and I ended up liking them. So by the time I finished Deep Space Nine, I had everyone from Deep Space Nine. Had finished Next Generation at the time. This was just main characters or like side characters that came in, and then finished Voyager. And once I got to collecting the Voyager, that's where it got a little bit more expensive, because it's always that scenario of like, when you want to collect it, everyone figures it out and hikes the prices of everything on there. But I think I got like a lot of the Voyager set, and I think I paid like $250 for them, which was quite a bit, because usually I'm used to like paying like $5 a pop for them, and it wasn't 20 figures, it was only like 12 figures, and kind of kept it there. And then finished Voyager, went into Enterprise, and then after I finished Enterprise, I was like, you know what, I need to really kind of sit back and go back and do TOS. So then I started coming across TOS ones, and then there was a line, well, not a line, but a few figures that came out for the Cage pilot. So you had the Cage figures to get. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to get the Cage figures. And lo and behold, too, there's also a Turtles and Star Trek inspired line that came out. So you have a mixture of those, which I have in the background as well, too. I'll post a photo up here as well, too, once we kind of get a little bit more into them. But fast forward, 4 or 5 more years, 5 more years into the collecting. I've added more and more to it, so now I've gotten more villains, more side characters, kind of. I'm trying to do a complete set of it. I, at one point on Facebook Marketplace, came across a 400-piece lot that was going for like $1,000 down in Georgia, and missed that opportunity. Jumped on it too late. So I had an itch to kind of go through and start buying everything else. So I came across and started getting the ships. So ended up getting, I already had Enterprise D and then the original Enterprise, but I wanted the Deep Space Nine station and the Voyager ship, which probably set me back a few hundred on those. And then I ended up getting like Klingon ships, the Borg ships, Galileo, and the Romulan ship. Those kind of still around like the 30 to 40, 50 range on those. But like I said, right now I'm like 90% complete on the collection. So, if you do enjoy this, hit me up and send some stuff my way. But I'm going to go ahead and go back into the history of Playmates lines, and we'll get going.
Computer subspace transmission to Starfleet Command from Enterprise. Stardate 45481.4. It's a single blast. Source unknown. Lieutenant Worf checks weapon systems. Captain Picard orders full shields from Lieutenant LaForge in engineering. Suddenly there is an alien presence on the ship. It's one of the Borg, a hostile robotic life form. Commander Riker returns phaser fire.
Star Trek, The Next Generation action figures from Playmates.
Okay, so for fall of 1992, 10 figures, one small shuttlecraft, and a whole lot of plastic dreams. First wave included Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Commander William Riker, Data, Geordi LaForge, Worf, Counselor Troy, Goron, a Borg drone, a Romulan, and of course a Ferengi, because what's Star Trek without a little bit of capitalism? Packaging was vibrant, a warp streaked backdrop, bold colors, and numbered collector cards for each figure. It screamed, "Buy me all now," and honestly, we did. Playmates initially wanted 16 figures in the Wave 1, but Paramount limited them to 10 figures for a test demand. Roleplay gear dropped alongside with the phasers, tricorders, communicators, and deluxe box sets with electronics. These things were literally everywhere. Toys R Us, KB Toys, Walmart, even just random grocery stores. It was as if the Borg were just waiting to assimilate every aisle. That Ferengi figure? Absolute legend. Tiny whip accessory, weirdly better sculpted than Troy's hair herself. Then came 1993. And in 93, hit like a warp core breach. Playmates went all in. The second wave added another 23 figures to the 4.5 line, plus vehicles and playsets. Suddenly, shelves weren't just stocked, they were overwhelmed. This year introduced Dr. Crusher, Wesley Crusher, finally, Guinan, Q in his judge robes, Locutus the Borg, and Lieutenant Barclay, or Lieutenant Broccoli, the action figure who looks permanently anxious even in plastic.
Good. I look forward to your report, Mr. Broccoli.
The adventure continues. In disguise, Picard, Data, and Riker are caught in the laser crossfire. It's a narrow escape. Back on the Starship Enterprise, Counselor Troy has the bridge. Suddenly, there's an explosion. Overcome by a parasite, Geordi is out of control. Lieutenant Worf and Lieutenant Barclay lure him off to sickbay with a holographic image of his friend, Hugh Borg. Calm is finally restored to the bridge. Temporarily. Star Trek, The Next Generation, bridge playset and action figures, new from Playmates.
We also got our first playsets. The TNG Bridge, the Transporter Room, and Shuttlecraft Galileo. These sets weren't cheap, but if you had one, you were basically the captain of your friend's group.
Now the universe has just gotten smaller. Command the Starship Enterprise with bridge and minifigures. The shuttlecraft Goddard manned for special missions. The Klingon bird of prey opens for action. The medical tricorder ready to handle any emergency. And Phaser with off-world adventure. All the Star Trek excitement you can hold in your hand. Star Trek The Next Generation. Inner space mini playsets with minifigures from Playmates.
Playmates had finally negotiated likeness rights directly from the actors this year. That's why early Crusher figures were delayed. Gates McFadden herself reportedly wanted final approval on her
Emergency! All systems down! Abandoned ship! Transporter ready! Beaming down Guinan! All life systems failing! Geordi LaForge now being transported! Hurry! Worf beaming down! Ship breaking up! Transporter ready for Data! That's not Data, it's Lore! Wait a minute, what's going on? Now all systems normal? What's happening? Oh, Q, of course. Testing us again.
Star Trek, The Next Generation, new action figures and transporter from Playmates.
Transporter playset was genius. It actually beamed figures using mirrors and lights. Half the time you were just flipping back and forth, watching Picard disappear. Locutus was basically the first premium figure, unique mold, better paint, and sold out fast.
Traveler, welcome to the promenade. Humble quark at your service. Behold, Star Trek Deep Space Nine action figures. Commander Benjamin Sisko, he helps me run the station. And Security Chief Odo, very strict and sneaky for someone so honest. Here's Lieutenant Dax, and Chief O'Brien, and Major Kira Nerys. I happen to know she's crazy about me. Wonderful, aren't they? Especially this one. So handsome. Pains me to part with it, but if you pay me now... security. What a pleasant surprise.
Finally, in 1994, we finally go into Deep Space Nine. And in Deep Space Nine, additions included Commander Sisko, Major Kira, Odo, Jadzia Dax, Quark with a gold press latinum, and gold Ducat because every shelf needed a Cardassian. The Generation movie line introduced movie-specific uniforms and accessories, a clever way for Playmates to double sell Picard and Kirk figures.
In a remote corner of our galaxy is a place where the future connects with the past. Where two generations shall meet to join forces in a battle to save the universe. Star Trek Generations, new action figures and accessories from Playmates.
In the same year, Playmates reported a $100 million in Star Trek toy sales in just 1994 alone. Retailers started giving Star Trek toys entire aisles in some stores, a huge deal at the time. The Generation figures had their phasers, rifles, accessories that could probably double as a blunt weapon in a real fight. In 1995, we saw Mixed Series and Voyager. 95 was Playmates' wildest experiment of the year. They launched the Mixed Series, a mashup of TNG, DS9, and the original series, and movie figures all in one wave. It was chaos but glorious chaos. New Voyager figures also debuted, including Captain Janeway, Chakotay, Tuvok, Tom Paris, Neelix, and the Doctor.
Your parents must be very proud, my boy.
Box sets became a hot collector's items this year. The away team packs and the bridge crew sets were limited runs that sold out almost instantly. Playmates introduced Melloway exclusives in 1995, sending figures like Tasha Yar in yesterday's Enterprise uniform directly to fans. KB Toys also scored multiple exclusive releases this year, starting a trend of retail specific variants. The Mixed Series packaging called it assortment for collectors. Translation, we know you're going to buy them all anyways. By 1996, Playmates was boldly going where no toy line had gone before. With the First Contact hitting theaters, Playmates dropped 11 new movie-specific figures. Picard in an EVA suit, Worf in combat armory, Lily with a plasma rifle, and even Data with a battle damage. And if a 4.5-inch figure wasn't enough, they went supersized. The 9-inch collector's line exploded this year, giving us deluxe editions of soft fabric uniforms and extra articulation. Picard, Riker, Spock, and even a Borg drone. If you had a favorite character, chances are they were suddenly huge. Voyager Series 2 also launched with better sculpts and accessories, including 7 and 9 prototype planned for 1997, but we'll get to that drama later. Paramount insisted on ultra accuracy for First Contact, meaning Playmates got early access to costumes and props during the filming. The Borg Spear sold out instantly. Sculptures had a field day with this one. The Borg Spear, lights and sound, still cooler than 90% of the toys today with Bluetooth speakers.
Play the Star Trek Triple Triples game. You may win a Star Trek multimedia home theater right in your own living room, or you could win one of thousands of other great prizes. Look for game pieces in specially marked packages of Playmate Star Trek toys, Interplay Starfleet Academy CD-ROMs, and at participating Dairy Queen restaurants, or write for a free game piece. Then see if you have a match with a grand prize winning symbol to be announced during the season premiere of Deep Space Nine. Watch for your chance to win.
In 1997 marked a shift. Playmates launched the Warp Factor series, a collector-focused 6-inch scale line with enhanced sculpts, redesigned articulation, In premium accessories, the first wave featured Captain Picard, Commander Sisko, Voyager's The Doctor, Locutus, and the Jem'Hadar's Warrior, basically built like a Klingon linebacker. This year also saw the release of 12-inch deluxe figures with fabric uniforms and detailed gear. They looked incredible and cost more than the Ferengi's dental plan. Collectors were now driving production. Playmates began producing smaller runs focusing on rare variants and exclusive. Target, Spencer's, and KB Toys started securing store-specific figures, making the hunt a nightmare but a thrilling one for completists. Warp Factor was the first time Playmates gave us real muscle tone on figures, outside of Power of the Force 2. Worf looked like he just benched a shuttle pod. Collectors called this the golden year. Parents called it the empty wallet year. In 1998 marked a turning point. Playmates scaled back mass releases, shifting towards exclusive collector runs. KB Toys scored the full wave of Mirror Universe figures, including Sulu, Spock, Uhura, and Chekhov, each rocking their alternative evil goatees and daggers. Then came the Platinum Edition series, metallic gold painted versions of classic figures, numbered and limited to just a few thousands each. These were high demand items until everyone realized metallic paint runs off faster than triple multiplies. Sales dipped hard this year as Star Trek figures set in. Playmates began experimenting with small run collectors club models to maintain interest. Platinum editions were gorgeous for about the first 5 minutes until you touched them. The Mirror Universe Spock easily top tier toy flicks, evil goatee included. And by the decline in 1999, the warp core was running low. Playmates releases slowed at a crawl. Retailers cut shelf space and collectors hyped softened. Only a handful of Warp Factor waves and box sets shipped this year, many as stores exclusives. Meanwhile, Paramount shifted focus towards new licensing strategies, splitting Star Trek merchandise across different companies. Playmates' once dominated hold on Star Trek was slipping. Retailers returned unsold stock in bulk, forcing Playmates to rethink production entirely. Some planned figures like Voyager's Cass or Borg's Queen Deluxe set was quietly canceled. Finding Star Trek toys on shelves in 1999 was like finding dilithium on Rorpantha. Not even happening. In 2000, the line officially shut down after producing over 350 figures, dozens of ships, and mountains of accessories, phasers, tricorders, and communicators. Playmates ended their Star Trek run. But their impact lives on. From 1992 to 2000, Playmates created one of the most ambitious, beloved, and nostalgia-packed toy lines in sci-fi history. They didn't even just make toys, they built a universe. Collectors still argue over which wave was the best. Spoilers, it's 1994. Don't fight me. Every childhood phaser duel owes a debt to this toy line. If you made it this far into the Delta Quadrant with me, congratulations. You've unlocked Playmates Collector rank. Drop a comment about your favorite figures, ships, and accessories, and let me know which deep dive you want next. Klingons, Borg ships, or maybe canceled prototypes? Until then, live long and prosper. Come again.